Good morning. What a beautiful sight you are. And on my way here, I saw 3 people doing this, looking up in a tree that's right down there. So on my way, I watched a great horned owl mother and saw its owlet. And I bring that to you. And in this space, made holy by your presence and by all of the passion that you bring to our community and to the greater world, can you feel the energy of the rummage sale still? I am full of gratitude to Charlotte Skews and Barb Nye and the many, 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 many volunteers who have been having fun, and I think this is key, who have been having fun this past week. And now let me ring our bell again. This time, our feet on this earth we love so well, this place on the earth where we find such beauty, the beauty of great horned owls and Watson Lake, and so much more. Those ponderosa pines in the evening that smell of butterscotch. We acknowledge with this bell, we affirm our collective hope for peace, and we acknowledge that these lands that we love are the lands of the Yavapai people, the Wipukepas, the Tolkepayas, the Quevkepayas, and the Yavapai. And today we welcome Susan Kelly and her friends and all of you on Zoom. Have you ever?
Have you ever wandered lonely through the woods? Everything there feels just as it should. You're part of the life there, you're part of something good. If you've ever wandered lonely through the woods. Ooh, if you've ever wandered lonely through the woods. Have you ever stared into a starry sky? Lying on your back, you're asking why. What's the purpose? I wonder, who am I? If you've ever stared into a starry sky. Ooh, have you ever stared into a starry sky? Have you ever been out walking in the snow? Tried to get back where you were before? You always end up not knowing where to go. If you've you've ever been out walking in the snow. Ooh, if you've ever been out walking, you would know.
Good morning. What a beautiful sight this really is. And welcome to our Flower Communion Day, which I've never been to, so I will experience it with you. My name is Rhea Batterman, and I am your worship associate today. So great to see you all here. And you Zoomers, hi. I'm trying to see who's there. Anyhow, welcome to Prescott Universal, Granite Peak Universal. I'm having a bad day. I worked all day yesterday, so forgive me. Welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Prescott, Arizona. We extend a warm welcome to all, and we are so glad you're here and joining us for this special day. Hopefully you are all in good health and enjoying this beautiful array of flowers and the aromas. Except coming over here, I had one smelly one, so I don't know what it was. Anyhow, I found a couple of inspirational quotes from some famous people that I would like to share with you. I found them really sweet and appropriate for today. The first one is called, well, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope," and that's by Lady Bird Johnson. And flowers don't worry how they're going to bloom. They just open up and turn toward the light, and that makes them beautiful. And that's by Jim Carrey. And minds are like flowers, and they open up when the time is right. And that's by Stephen Richards. And as we enjoy this beautiful array of blooming, gorgeous flowers, let us pray for all the people in Ukraine and hope their garden blooms very soon again. This is the mission statement of our congregation. We are a compassionate, spiritual community that celebrates diversity, nurtures the personal and spiritual growth of all ages, shares our gifts, promotes justice for all, and serves the world we live in. If you are joining us for the first time, please check out our website, prescottuu.org, for more information, and our weekly peek and Patty's videos, and you could find out more about what we do here. I'd like to thank the following people, especially today. Lena Hubin, you're here, right? You're playing? Okay, I'm just checking. Mary Lou Prince, our musical director, and a special guest, a special thank you to Susan Kelly and her friend. It says friends, but I only see one, so. And please take a minute to put your phones on worship mode. Before we begin our service today, I have a few announcements, but one is a special announcement, and I would like to call upon Charlotte Skuse. And where is Barb Nye? Come. And they have a great announcement.
Well, there is such a thing as muscle memory. It was 2.5 years. We didn't do one in 2019. And I was a little worried in the beginning and a few glitches and whatever, but we all came through, and $4,725. And I thank everyone who donated, who helped and clean up. It was nip and tuck there for a while on cleanup, but we did it. And here you are today.
Yeah, I'm the Barb Nyhalf. I just want to say thank you to everybody who came. Several people came every day and worked all day. And I know how hard that is, but we did it. We hadn't done it for a while. I also want to let you know that I have donated 5 apple pies, the frozen pies. 3 are left in the freezer. So Charlotte's going to be around and available after the service. If anybody wants one, they're $20 a piece, but that's another $60 for the coffers for the rummage sale. See you for the rummage sale next year.
Yay. Thank you, ladies. It was quite a remarkable day. The other announcement that I'd like to share with you is please attend the first interfaith service, Earth Care, at the First Congregational on Thursday, April 28th at 5 p.m. Schedules of all the Earth events for the week are on the back table as you exit. So check that out. And now, as we begin our service in the Unitarian tradition of lighting the chalice, I'd like to ask Mary Lou Prince to light the chalice for us today. She's my favorite choral director. And this is a reading by Jennifer McLaughlin. As the first hint of green begins to peek through the barren ground, as the first hint of green begins, a little sprig grows into a healthy stem, and that stem grows into a stalk and forms a new bud. And as the bud slowly grows and opens each new day to form a yellow daffodil, let us be like the first hint of green, renewed by the warmth of the sun's rays and ready to emerge with new energy, ready to face the day. We light this chalice to bring a glimmer of that warmth into our space. And I think it's you. Okay.
We've had lots of good mornings, but it is wonderful to be here. Good morning again. Good morning, and good morning to all you on Zoom. This past week, we have had bags packed and ready to go, wondering if that fire would turn in our direction. How many of you have been getting ready for that? Yeah. And our faith development coordinator, who raised her hand, had bags packed, and her family had to evacuate from their home in Walker. And I saw that great horned owl this morning. And this week I saw a vermilion flycatcher for the first time. How many of you have seen vermilion flycatchers? Oh. It sat alone on a twig, brilliant red against that blue sky. And then we watched a great blue heron fly into the clouds and head off to fish in Willow Lake. And cormorants were flying above us with twigs for their nests. During this season, almost 100 years ago, the Unitarian minister, Norbert Chopek, was noticing the earth as well. He lived in Czechoslovakia and went up into the mountains, and he looked at those fields of mountain flowers, which are so diverse. And he thought he wanted to make a ceremony for his congregation in Prague. And he thought of those flowers and how different they all were from one another. And they looked so much like the beautiful sight I am seeing right now of people of different ages and different beliefs and different loves and different talents and different ways of greeting the day And he thought, oh, we are all so much like flowers. And that was the beginning. And I imagine him bringing those armloads of flowers to his big church in Prague and making this ceremony. So let us sit for a moment and savor this marvelous gathering of different beliefs, backgrounds, different parents, different pets, different life experiences. A new day has dawned. And I think spring is here. Maybe? Let us all sing together, De Colores. Wow, that was great. You guys really sung out. And now let us say our covenant together, the covenant of this congregation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant together. And now I would like to invite our children up to the front. And I'm going to move out here. And many of you have brought flowers. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. That's wonderful. So I was talking in the beginning about this minister named Norbert Chopek. He was a very brave person. And he thought that everyone had looked like a flower, that we were all different. And I wonder, oh my gosh, what a hat, Hokulani. Wow, wow. Have you ever seen a turtle hat? I haven't. Oh, it is very cute. Thank you, Tiffany. It is very cute. So I wonder, do any of you have a special flower that you like? Beautiful. Love blooms here. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. So does anyone have a special flower, or do you feel like you're kind of like a certain kind of flower? Tiffany?
I am. My middle name is Rose, and so I feel a lot like a rose. I have a very sweet personality.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes.
My name's Lily, so I like lilies.
Oh, beautiful. Any other flowers?
I feel like an avian and a rose because avian is part of my name and roses are red and red is my favorite color.
Mine too.
Yes, red is your favorite color and red and rose is your sister. Wow. Any other flowers? The adults can, if do you have any? Audrey, I bet you, do you have any flower you think you identify with that you think this is like me?
Lilac.
Why?
They're all over the place.
Okay, they're all over the place. Lilacs. And Bev, too, you like lilacs. Lilacs. Anyone else have a flower? Robert, do you have a flower you like?
I like tulips because I'm from Michigan and Holland, they have the tulip festival.
Oh, tulips.
You have two of them on your face.
Oh, oh, two tulips. Woohoo! Thank you, Tiffany. That was a good one. That was a good one.
I like roses as well
Why do you like roses?
because they're pretty.
They are pretty. Thank
They
you.
remind me of the world because the world is beautiful, but it does have its hard times and its sharp times.
Oh.
Just like roses, they have thorns, but they also have really
Okay, so do you mind saying that into the microphone? I forgot to send it.
Roses remind me of the world because it has its sharp times and also its beautiful times.
Yeah, it has its sharp times and its beautiful times. It has those thorns. Yes. Anyone else? Any flowers you can think of? Yes, Tiffany.
There's an actual flower called the Tiffany rose, so I'm completely named after a flower.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, now is the time when you can put you can add your flowers. So this is part of our flower communion. You can add your flowers to all the flowers that are here. Yeah, just put it in. Just right here. Thank you. Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to put their flowers in? Okay, then I invite you to go back to your seats and then we're going to have more with the flower communion in just a minute. But in this part of the service, usually we say to the children we send them back across the street. but we're going to wait because we want you to have a chance to take some flowers with you and to enjoy the communion. But this is the time when we talk about the joys, the happy things that are happening in our lives, and we talk about the sad things. So I want you to be thinking about anything that you find that's happy or sad that's happening. And this day, what we're thinking about especially is this is our green joys and sorrows. So I'm going to begin with, in fact, today I only have green joys. My green joys are seeing that great horned owl, mama and its baby. And another one was kind of a joy and a sorrow, and that is that we had our furnace broke and carbon monoxide was coming into our house. So we had to get a new furnace. So we got a greener furnace. That's a joy. And then because it was electric and our HVAC system became more electric, guess what we did? Solar panels. Solar panels are coming in 2 weeks. And I don't know if the Tokars are on this Zoom. I don't see them in the sanctuary, but they had a joy of solar panels about 2 years ago that we couldn't celebrate together. Are there any? So let's just put our feet on the ground and feel this earth. Feel this earth and the many things that we love, those joys that we carry with us from the earth. I'm going to hope that you can see what I can see in my mind, and that is up in a big cottonwood tree, a head poking out with ears like this. I want you to imagine that great horned owl, and then near it, all crunched down like this and all fuzzy, the baby. So let us think about this earth under our feet and all the joy that we have received from this earth. And now I invite those of you on Zoom who I think can see me, and those of you here to bring out what your green joys and sorrows are for this week. Yes, Leslie.
Yesterday, a group from Granite, along with about 600 other people from Prescott, cleaned up the creeks. Wonderful.
So Leslie Grady is lifting up the creek cleanup. Thank you. Thank you. And Christy. Oh, wonderful. So the creek cleanup is spreading joy. And that's good to know when you're involved in a creek cleanup that you are spreading joy. Yes. Yes, Anna. Yes, and the Protect campaign, which is calling for a climate assessment of this city, is moving beautifully and needs us to be there at 12:30 on Tuesday in front of City Hall. And that will spread lots of joy. And Mary. So Mary, for you on Zoom, Mary's talking about the joy of a gathering with many people from Phoenix, 10 people, young people from Phoenix, talking about gathering here in Prescott to talk about climate change. Not just talk about it, but think about what can be done, what we can do, what we can do. Any other joys? Yes, Karen. Wow. We are all joyful that Merle is able to plant a garden after his stroke, and he was sure helping yesterday. Thank you. We're happy. You spread joy, Merle, by being here. Thank you. Yes. Bobby and then Daryl. Everything that was sold at the rummage sale for you on Zoom was recycled. Yes. And Daryl. Oh. The quail population. Daryl has joy and has spread that joy about lazuli buntings and quail that appear to be nesting and perhaps making many quail. Any other joys? Yes, Gretchen.
Thank you. So I am so joyful to be back in Prescott when it is spring. Last time I was here was winter. And of course, it is a great joy to be with my mother, Judy Davis.
Yes. And she's always a part of our joys when she's here. Yes. And she's been singing in choir. Yes. And let me just see about the Denny's said they have new solar panels. And they're sorry that APS hasn't connected them yet. Do we have any more green joys and sorrows? Any things you've been seeing in nature? Kelsey. Oh, the first iris bloomed. And this is a fabulous place for iris. Yes. Which it isn't a green joy, but Kathleen Schaefer, who is the iris queen, is doing well after her surgery. Any other? Yes, Julian. Grateful for.
I'm grateful for all the flowers that everyone brought.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What? Tiffany.
We saw actually one of the staff who works in my house and we went in the backyard, and the house manager put a little bird feeder up there, and we saw lots of birds flocking to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Birds.
Little songbirds on Tiffany on the bird feeder at your home. Wonderful. Wonderful. Any other joys of things you've seen? Yes.
We have a bath for our birds, and we got to see a bird bath in it.
Oh, that's a lovely sight. A bird taking a bath. Taking a bath. Peter, I'm sorry.
There was the climate rally at the courthouse square, and there's really a movement and 3 people on the city council that we can all talk to. And yes, everybody should show up Tuesday afternoon, 12:30.
Thank you. Thank you. Any hands I'm not seeing? Okay, we are going to be moving right into the flower communion now, so that our children can go across the street where they have lots of fun and they're anxious to do that. So let us now enter a spirit of prayer, and let us move back in time to this marvelous minister, Norbert Čapek, whose church I visited in Prague, and a woman who knew him said he was a lot of fun. And he created this flower communion and the prayer I'm going to read to you. This is the blessing. Oh, we have more. House finches nesting in our patio umbrella. That Crook's fire is not spreading widely, and that fire protection is working well to contain it. Yes. These are the words of Norbert Čapek, a Czech Unitarian minister whose vision of respecting all diversity was too radical for Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia, but that's another story. These are his words. Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these flowers, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thee. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in the world. Amen. And may it be so. And now it is time to share in flower communion. Some of you have brought flowers. Our children began by putting their flowers in it. And what you will do as the music is playing is that you can come up, you can put a flower in, and you can either, well, we were supposed to have empty vases, but so many vases came that we don't. So just take the flowers back with you to your seat, or if you don't want your flowers to die, you can just choose your flowers in your mind and hope that they're there at the end of the service, which is what I would prefer. I always hated sitting there with the dying flower. So I invite you now to come up and receive a flower either in your heart or actually take a flower. And those of you who are going to faith development after this, I invite you to each take 2 flowers, and you could take them over across the street, and I'm sure Bev will find a vase she can put them in. Okay, let us enter into the flower communion. And Art is telling me that people come. This is my first flower communion here in person, and there are traditions I didn't know of. And that is that you would come down the center aisle and then go back around. And the children start. And this is our most chaotic service for those of you who are here for the first time. We usually are not starting the offertory at this point. And for those of you who are concerned, I will be very brief.
Isn't this fun? As we prepare to take the offering this morning, let us embrace the feeling of connection and community that we have when we gather each week. Let us remember that this congregation and its programs are supported by your generosity. We also give back to the greater community through our Seeds of Support program. This month's recipient is Protect Campaign, which is planning for resilience of our town's environment, climate, and tourism. Please read about them in your order of service, or as I said before, there's more information in the back of the sanctuary. To give online, please go to prescottuu.org, giving, and on the bottom of the left-hand side, click on Support Granite Peak for your contribution. The link is also available in the chat on this video. Thank you in advance.
I can change the world with my own two hands, make it a better place with my own two hands, make it a kinder place with my own two hands, with my own two hands. I can make peace on earth with my own two hands. I can clean up the earth with my own two hands. I can reach out to you with my own two hands, with my own two hands. Gonna make it a brighter place with my own two hands, make it a safer place with my own two hands. Gonna help the human race with my own two hands, with my own two hands. I can hold you with my own two hands. I can comfort you with my own two hands, but you got to use your own two hands. Use your own two hands with our own two hands.
We acknowledge your generosity of the spirit expressed through this offering. What is given in love is received with gratitude. Blessed be.
This ceremony that seems we are speaking of flowers, and yet the depth of this desire in Reverend Chapek's heart was to acknowledge the beauty of all differences. And that didn't go well with Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia. And he was killed. He was one of those who was executed during the Holocaust. And I'm just giving you that bit of information because it is a radical act to love differences. And I mean the differences we don't like, not just my differences. In fact, I think my differences are cute. It's about loving the differences that we don't like. And something I do love is I love to be outside and weed and clean up gardens. Do any of you like to do that? Some people do. You are dubbed to be part of our team. And we gather on Saturday mornings about every other week during the season when our surroundings start to look a little bad. And we work together just a couple of hours before choir. And often during that time, Stephen Lovejoy, who is creating this marvelous garden across the way, he comes to us and he said, "That's not a weed." And he will tell us, "Don't take that out. The birds like those flowers." And he's glad to talk with any of you afterwards. Is Stephen here? He's across the street in the garden. Oh, so I'm asking you, what sort of flower are you? If you were a flower, what flower would you be? When Mary Lou and I asked each other that question this last week, I answered immediately that I would want to be a common wood violet. I didn't think of it before. It just came up. Not the one you buy in the nursery to put in beautiful places around, like the little pansies, but the ones you find. Because those flowers have brought me so much joy. And some people are annoyed by violets. I found this. While pretty, these iconic wild violets are also an aggressive and invasive weed. They've been known to take over yards and flower beds with no concern of whatever landscaping is happening, whatever original plans of the homeowner. Their leaves are also high in vitamin C, and Cherokee used violets to treat colds and sore throats. Frankly, I would love to have a lawn, not here, but in another place, covered in violets. And I would love to be like that violet, showing up when least expected as a patch of lovely purple surrounded by greenery. Violets make me smile, which I think is evidence of hope, of the hope that they spread in me. And that is what I wish for the world, that we could spread hope in the world. Vanessa Nakate, if you don't know her, Google her after this meeting, a climate activist from Uganda, said, "It's not the devastation that keeps us fighting, it's what we see in our minds, the vision, the hope. Because if there's no hope," she wrote, "what are we to look forward to?" I feel hope when I see you showing up. When I see you not just showing up, gritting your teeth, because that easily can happen among us, but showing up in a spirit of joy and fun, in elf and Santa costumes to hand out gifts at our link breakfast. And during this past week at the rummage sale, what I loved was hearing the fun conversation among you, friendships deepening. And when our choir members showed up an hour before choir to help with the cleanup, I loved hearing them laugh with each other. That gave me hope. And Diane Harper is dreaming up some, which may be embarrassing for me, some fun theater event, because she says after 2 years, we need some fun. So what is a little embarrassment? I also feel hope when I see you standing shivering in the cold to be there for the Earth Day rally and singing a new song bravely into that air. I love it and feel hope when meetings that have serious intent also have shared laughter. In shared laughter, I feel hope. When our daily walks take a long time because we stop and talk with lots of neighbors and share laughter. Shared laughter has great medicinal properties. I imagine that Norbert Chopek, the Unitarian minister who brought flower communion to Unitarianism, I imagine him showing up some Sunday with his arms full of flowers. He wanted to give that serious message that he died for, that we are all different and that differences are important. And I also think he wanted to lighten things up in the best way. He wanted his congregation to celebrate a tradition that brought smiles and laughter. He was known for his fun, and fun can shake us out of ourselves. Fun can help us see in a new way. Like yesterday, when I got up to go to the creek cleanup, but ended up going to the wrong place. And then they told me, oh no, they met earlier in a different place. And then I had to sit in my car. And then I started to laugh, because there is so much that we can be intent on something. And I think I was rather intent when I left my house in a serious mood to help with the creek cleanup. And is perhaps what is fate for me are often the words to lighten up. And I think if there were a Unitarian sin, it might be that we take things too seriously. A little like my grandmother when I was not a Unitarian, and she said to me, Patty, don't wear your halo so high. So don't wear your halo so tight, it makes everyone else's head hurt. There are lots of kinds of halos I've learned. I left that one behind me, but I've picked up a few on the way. Let us not turn our love of the earth into a tight halo that makes everyone else's head hurt. I think that Violet isn't making a list of all the places she needs to go in order to make hope. I think she's just pushing up towards the sunshine that is drawing her out of that little crack in the concrete. Then she's feeling the sun on her face, and she is smiling at everyone who is walking by. And that is giving me hope. What about you? Does that give you hope? Let us consider for a moment what brings us hope. When Theodore Parker, a Unitarian minister, wrote, "Be ours a religion that like sunshine goes everywhere," I think he could have been talking about showing up with each other, showing up in the world with laughter and joy and fun. May it be so, and amen. And now let us listen together. Let us tune our ears to Morning Bird.
Sing to me, my morning bird, the sweetest song I ever heard. Love's melody in your heart's own words. Sing to me, my morning bird. When the sun climbs o'er the mountains, just to hear you sing your song, and all the stars lay down in heaven to take their rest when evening comes. Sing to me, my morning bird, the sweetest song I ever heard. Love's melody in your heart's own words. Sing to me, my morning bird. Don't you fly away from me without leaving me with your song. For the morning, it's much too lonely and so quiet when you're gone. Sing to me, my morning bird, the sweetest song I ever heard. Love's melody in your heart's own words. Sing to me, my morning bird. Sing to me, my morning bird. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. And now, please join me in a spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, we give thanks for this community, for the laughter shared through many years. We give thanks for this earth that has given us so much. We ask for our hearts to be opened to the ways that we can comfort one another, the ways that we can protect this earth. and the ways that we can find joy along this road together. Amen, and may it be so. And now I will invite those of you who are on Zoom to go into your breakout rooms after we extinguish our chalice. And then we will be asking people to introduce themselves if they would like to. But this is highly boring for our people on Zoom because they can't hear anything. So let us extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you all on Zoom for joining us. Thank you.